Thank you all for coming. I'm Norma Gavarette from the Community Recreation Department. I have Wendy in this beautiful sunny day. I have Wendy speaking about colors in the garden. So Wendy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming on. Can you hear me okay? How do you make this better, Pablo? Okay.
Just keep talking to it.
Okay. Tell me if it's better. Yes, it's, oh, whoa, 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 let's not kill them. Okay. Thank you for coming on Super Bowl weekend. I'm sure that there's a lot of other things you could have been doing, so I appreciate you all being here for sure. My favorite thing is, well, first let me introduce myself, although I think most of you are my friends from years, so thank you so very much for still coming to hear me. You must know it better than me by now. My name is Wendy Fleming Salzberg. I own Wendy's Landscaping. I have been doing this, I think I lost track. Bobby, how long am I doing this? Marta, how long am I doing this? 22 years at the Coral Gables Farmers Market and 35 years landscaping professionally, and it's still called Wendy's Landscaping. How boring. My favorite thing in the whole world when I meet my clients is to tell them that color is the best thing about South Florida. Why? Because all year long you're going to get something. You get something different every couple of months because it changes. Some things go out of bloom, some things stay in bloom a different time. Even mangoes that are all in flower right now are going to come at different times over the summer. Some are going to fruit May, some fruit June, some fruit July, some fruit August. My banana trees don't have a schedule. They're on their own calendar. Whenever I get fruit, I get fruit. But the color consistently has a season. It may be longer or shorter, but it has a season. So let's start with some of the most common ones that are vines. If you look at your sheet called Color in the Garden, one of my favorites is called Chinese Hat. And forgive me, I'll probably mess up the pronunciation, Homunculdia sanguinea. But let's just call it Chinese Hat because I doubt most of you will ever call it by the botanical name. The reason I can lead with this, Pablo, go out there. Okay, the reason I love this plant so much, if I don't break your eardrums, is because the flowers look like little Chinese hats. Just pass that around, Marta, if you would. No thorns, very gentle on the fingers, blooms in full sun. It will tolerate some shade, but it's going to be a lot happier in sun. There is a darker color, a height's probably about 8 to 10 foot max. Now, if you have to put it in a place where it has to be cut, you're going to have less flowers. It has to be able to go rambling. So I was very fortunate to have a house that came with a chain link fence. Chain links are inherently, what's the word that starts with a U? Ugly. Chain link fences are ugly. So even if you get a green one, which is the newfangled, or the black chain link fences, which are even better, mine was probably built in the 50s, it's silver. So I put the Chinese hat, and the other one, if I don't trip on myself, is, you'll know this one. Come on, guys, sing it to me. What's the name of this one? Bougainvillea. I love Bougainvillea. I would not have it. But just so that I wouldn't be bleeding on camera, I cut all the thorns off before I picked this here to you. You have to be crazy to cut all the thorns off. It'll take you 20 minutes. Yes, ma'am. There is a thornless variety. I've tried it a couple of times. It has not grown nearly as well as the thorny ones. There is a thornless one that is a dwarf that comes in lavender that stays down this way about maybe 3 to 4 foot that I've put in as a foundation plantings. Well, some of those, I guess. Oh God, foundation plantings. Let liriope over there, that dark green liriope that's under the center, something that you put in mass. It's not necessarily a hedge. It's a thing that's a base. So there is a dwarf bougainvillea that can be a foundation planting, but the thornless ones just are not as nice as the ones that have the thorns. An orange thornless one, and did it do well? Here in South Florida, then I have to find it. So. All I'd say to you, this is the same thing as the Chinese hat that I passed around. I have another one. Pablo, I'm afraid of this thing. Oh, okay. Oh, you all seen it. Okay. The reason I say it's the same is because the less you cut, the more the flowers. You have to have it cut all the time because it's near a walkway or a driveway or front door. Not going to get flowers. It's silly to plant it. Okay. What's next on our list, guys? Okay, this one I don't have with me. It's called Passiflora Edulis, or it's passion vine. If you look on the picture, though, thank you, Pablo. One of the pictures has a passion vine that's gone crazy. It's on steroids. Look on the back. It's the next to last picture. It says passion vine and jatropha. That's the non-native passion vine. That's the red one that gets crazy. It looks like wax, the flower. It's magnificent. The native one is really a blue or a purple, and the native one is the one you can eat. The native one does attract more butterflies, but this red one doesn't do a bad job. But I wanted to show you that this was starting landscape design. Oh my God, imagine that. The chain link has a red flowering passion vine, and behind it, that small tree is a red jatropha tree. They never bloom the same time, so I'm never going to get credit for doing that. But let's see if I can find my jatropha. There she is. Okay, these are jatrophas. You've seen these before. These are small. All right, come on, guy. I know you want to come home with me, but stay there. Okay, jatrophas are one of my favorite small flowering trees. They're great for color in the garden. They mostly bloom in the summer, but this is right off my tree, and I think this is winter. So you see it's trying to bloom. Why? Because we had 80 degrees about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Did we have 80? Almost 82 degrees in the winter. So the only thing about jatrophas, I'll pass this around, they can get scale. Scale is a white insect that has no teeth. And when the white insect comes onto maybe a brown insect, but usually jatrophas get the white, they stick onto the stem and they use a straw for a mouth. Imagine that. They're like a Coke dealer. And when they go with their straw mouth, they suck out the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll will make the plant have yellow dots. So you're walking by and you say, oh, my jatropha looks great. What are those dots? There's no holes because scale has no teeth. So what happens is if you don't catch it, then the next bug that comes along are ants. The ants are the predator for the scale. So you think, great, I can get rid of the scale just naturally. Well, yeah, nothing's that simple, because then the thing that the ants do is, excuse me, Pablo, they go to the bathroom. When they go to the bathroom, sooty mold starts to form on the leaf. So you're going to get 3 pests. You're going to get black sooty mold, you're going to get ants up the yazoo, and you're going to get scale. Gee, where's the jatropha now? So after a while, the jatropha is going to succumb to it. So what do? You remember that old expression, talk to your plants? You're not really talking to them, but you're out there with them. If you've spent 6 months and haven't looked at your plants, chances are there's a bug on it. We live in the tropics. So go out and just say, hi, jatropha, how you doing? So what? Your neighbors think you're crazy. My neighbors have thought I'm crazy for 30 years. That's the jatropha, but one of the prettiest small flowering trees we have. Okay, next on our list. The rosa. I didn't need to. Yes, no problem. How tall? Jatrophas. You think 15? I think 10 to 12 at most. At most. And they get very wide, but they're beautiful when they bloom. I mean, if I could take you guys on a tour instead of sitting here, we'd see so much more, but I can't. But next time, I'll take you on a tour. We could tour the garden in here. But the jatropha is a really bushy, small, beautiful tree. All right. And butterflies love it. Thank you, Jeannie. I appreciate that. Rosa. I'm not bringing you a rose bush. I'm sorry. It's a song. It's by Streisand. Whatever. You know what roses are. There are climbing roses. There are thornless roses. I have a climbing rose in my garden. It's now about 8 feet. It's over the window. It's really pretty. I don't go near it. It'll stab me to death. But I have it out a window. The thing about the climbing rose, don't cut it for flowers to bring in a vase, because the minute you cut it, the petals fall off. It's just for looking at outside the window. So if you want the other types of roses that are bush roses, that's what they're called, those are more for cutting. Thank you, sir. Okay, Bridal Bouquet. That is the Stephanotis. I don't think I have one. If you've ever been married, you probably had white fragrant flowers in your bouquet. Stephanotis flowers. They can grow in South Florida. I've had them on my chain link. Unfortunately, my chain link has so many vines on it that the Stephanotis got crowded out. I barely ever see it anymore. It is not as aggressive as some of these others. My Chinese hat's very aggressive. The Bougainvillea is very aggressive. By aggressive, I mean if you're not out there for 3-4 months, one plant's going to overtake the other. So yes, it's bullying, but at the same time, it's so pretty and you can't see through my fence. I can live with it. Okay, Confederate Jasmine. Confederate Jasmine's one of my favorites, if I can find her. She's in here. She has white flowers, very, very fragrant white flowers. She's right in front of me. Okay, I know it doesn't look like much. She blooms in the summer. Very fragrant. Little white pinwheels of flowers. Could you take that from me? I know it doesn't look like much, but believe me, it's really pretty when it flowers. The thing about Confederate Jasmine is you plant it for the fragrance. It's so sweet in the summer that you can't miss it when you walk by. So it's not real aggressive. It's very viney. It tangles all over the place. At my chain link fence, it's not unusual for me to be out there sticking tendrils through the holes, because what will happen is the vine will reach for the sun automatically and go straight up. I'm using these for privacy. I'm not using them just for fragrance and color. If you want them to be full at the bottom of the chain link fence, you need to train it by putting the tendrils through the bottom. Because whether you believe in the good Lord, Mother Nature, whatever you believe, photosynthesis, it doesn't matter. That plant's going to reach for the top, and the stems will be what you'll see on the chain link. Stems on a chain link are great, but there's no privacy there. I got it, Mama. Thanks. So Confederate Jasmine's one of my favorites for fragrance, also attracts a great deal of butterflies. I have several. The three most common I have are the monarch, the giant swallowtail, and the zebra longwing. I also get sulfurs, which I'll go into in a minute. All of them are great. The butterflies, that is. Okay, the stoppers. I didn't bring any of the stoppers. They're a great native shrub. They look a lot like the thing that's almost extinct, which is orange jasmine. All right, Pablo, get me out of this. No, that's Lignum Vitae. The orange jasmine. How many have orange jasmine in their house from a long time ago? It's fragrant flowers. Unbelievable. They took it off the market. Oh, there you are. Good girl. Okay, this was orange jasmine. It's a very common shrub that came in houses in the 50s. White flower, very fragrant, orange fruit. They flower all summer, it seems like, and they are magnificent fragrance, but they are in the same family as the citrus. So when we had citrus canker, don't say any cuss words, you're on film, they cut down every citrus tree in South Florida, and it was a bogus garbage thing because I forgot what hurricane it was, but they discovered after the hurricane that the spores of citrus canker can go by wind. It doesn't matter if your tree's infected or not. If the wind carries it, you're going to get it. So all that cutting of all those healthy trees was for nothing. So I was one of those people standing there when the backhoe came along, and I went, not my tree, but I'm still here, so I guess the tree's gone and I'm gone. But at any rate, the orange jasmine is the same family as citrus, so they took this plant off the market. It was one of the best privacy hedges. I still have it because my house is built in 46, so it came with my house. If you can get it, they're starting to propagate them again. You use it for flower arranging? Really? What I love about it, she said that she uses it for flower arranging. And you use it for at the base as leaves, or oh, how cool! Because the leaves are so pretty. One of my favorite things is dark green. Yes, the color is beautiful. You're right, Marta. One of the best things. Come on in, guys. You're welcome. I'm sure we can find someone to give you a flyer somewhere. We'll have to find her. Pablo, go find Norma. At any rate, one of the best things about orange jasmine is that it's got no care in terms of care in the garden. I have never had a client say to me, could you please plant something that has the most care so I can work in the garden from morning till night? And wait, while you're getting me the highest maintenance plant, could you get me the most expensive landscaping you could think of? I would be glad to work for that client. I have never met them. They all say low care. I don't have any time. I don't know what I'm doing. I know, I got the story. Orange jasmine's one of those plants. You can barely kill it. You have to work at it. All right, what's our next guy on our list, guys? All right. So we went through the Confederate Jasmine Thryallis. All of you love this guy. Okay. Thryallis is a vine and a shrub. Yellow flowers. Attracts a lot of butterflies. Most of the time, are you ready for this? This took me only 25 years to learn, so I'm going to cheat and show it to you fast. Mother Nature sends the same color butterfly as the flower. And I saw this and thought, nah, come on. And I called a couple of people, the Dade County Native Plant Society, and I said, come on. And they said that it's camouflage. Mother Nature knows how, because the butterflies will have predators that will go after them. So the sulfur, which is a yellow butterfly, will come to this. And that tree right there, the yellow senna, there's another one right here. She's just coming into bloom. Both of these plants, the Thryallis and the yellow senna, will attract the sulfur butterfly. So for me, come on. Sorry? I have a ladybug? Oh, how cool. You have good eyes. Lordy B. Here, you pass. I'm impressed.
Oh, I thought it was a ladybug. It's a little flower.
Oh, okay. The Thryallis is aggressive. It needs full sun. It will cover my chain link in probably less than 3 years. That may sound like a long time, but how many here think that, December was like 3 weeks ago instead of really being last month? Oh, wait, it's even more than last month. Time flies in a garden. So when you think that you've got to wait forever, all of a sudden you turn around, the plant's bigger. It does come in a shrub, but that's the vine version. Really a beautiful plant that attracts butterflies. I don't have a fragrance. Can you smell that, see if there's anything? I don't think so. That one's not necessarily fragrant. Okay, Bougainvillea we covered. Patria. Patria is a very strange vine. Where did we saw it drop? Here no? Yes. Okay. This one you got to touch. This is like, remember when we were kids, show and tell? Touch and feel. This is a sandpapery leaf. Big, beautiful lavender flowers. If you don't have a trellis or something for this to climb on, don't waste your time with Patria. It needs support. But if you have a pergola, you have a garage that you want to hold it up, it's beautiful purple flowers when it comes into bloom. It's really pretty. The vine itself is nothing to write home about, but how many things are lavender here? Let's give it a rest. We don't have too many lavender things. So it's really, really pretty. Now, to me in landscaping, the two colors that go best together are lavender and yellow, or purple and yellow. Those two set each other off so beautifully in the garden that if you can get a senna tree and find a purple ground cover underneath it, it's just so pretty. It makes it work. Okay, next one. Dutchman's pipe. I didn't cut that because I had baby eggs all over it. Okay, Dutchman's pipe, Aristolochia, is a purple flower that looks like a trumpet, or like a, not a trumpet, like a saxophone or a tuba. It's got not saxophone, it's got a long bell that comes up. Not really an attractive flower. Has lots of little tiny, tiny eggs that are laid on it. It's one of the best vines for the giant swallowtail. So I planted it for the giant swallowtail. Not attractive, but people come all over I live in Miami Shores. People come all down my alley. Can I have a cutting of your Dutchman's pipe? I honestly don't know if it grows by cuttings. I refuse to cut it because I always have little tiny eggs up and down all the stems. And when they come to fruition, I have giant swallowtails all over the place. So I'm not a butterfly person as much as I make sure I know what plants attract which butterflies. Okay, next one on the list is on the back. Fiddlewood. That's one I think I will teach you because it's new to me, so it should be new to you. Okay. This looks like fiddlewood. Yes. Fiddlewood doesn't look like... Oh, there she is. I've got a flower. Well, it's maybe the wrong flower, but whatever. It's a white flower. I may have done the same thing you just did. Very fragrant. Fiddlewood is native to Florida and very fragrant. It's a small tree. I don't have mine more than about 3 years, and she's about maybe 6 feet. Not fast, real slow. But what I put on there, I believe, if you look on the sheet fiddlewood, is that it weeps. The stems actually curl down like an old weeping willow. That's really hard to find that form. And when you get into native plants, sometimes the greenery is going to get real confusing because I know you're going to love this expression. A lot of plants look alike. So here's the deal. If you can get a shape that gives you that weeping feeling and you put something underneath that's, let's say like these bromeliads that are under the bottle palm. See the bromeliad? Wait, I can't walk with this, Pablo. I'm trying not to kill myself. Okay. All right. Me and wires. You can tell I'm not an electrician. Okay. This is Tibouchina. I don't know if you can see it from there. You can get up. This is a purple flowering ground cover called Tibouchina, and it's on both sides. The Tibouchina never gets much taller than that. That's probably about, 8 or 10 inches? Okay, so what I do is I have this as ground cover in my yard because I do not want a lot of grass. Why do I not want a lot of grass? I don't want to mow a lot of grass. Mowing is every 2 weeks in the summer. Tibouchina, I cut it back, I think once a year. I just cut its whole head off and it comes back. Needs mostly sun, but this purple Tibouchina under the yellow senna or even under the fiddlewood would work because the fiddlewood's not that dense. It's got more light coming through it. This doesn't have a lot of light coming through it, so you see they put the bromeliads because the bromeliads will tolerate more shade. So when you start designing with these things, you're looking at form, you're looking at tolerance of sun, you're looking at, God bless you, you're looking at maximum height. These are the things that just require homework, okay? You need to figure out. No, you're not interrupting. It's Tibouchina's not on there. I just know too many plants. Tibouchina. Tibouchina. Okay, the next one, Lignum Vitae. Gotta find her. Okay, Lignum. You're here. There you are. Okay, Lignum Vitae. This, you must know how much I love you because Lignum Vitae, this tree is 20 years old. Cutting a stem off of this for you is like cutting one of my fingers. This tree takes forever to grow. So if you're in your 70s and you've hired me and you say, I want a Lignum Vitae, I say, Johnny Appleseed here, let's plant it for your children. Because if you plant a Lignum Vitae this big, it's going to take probably 20 years to get to about 6 feet. It takes a long time. But should you have it? Without a doubt. Why? Purple flowers that will knock your socks off. Gorgeous purple flowers. Unfortunately, we as a nation tend to plant things that they don't belong in the right place. So if you look at the picture on the back, there's a Lignum Vitae that a gentleman put right near that beautiful flagstone walkway, and he had to keep it trimmed. Do you want flyers? Can you get her some and see if there's any left? They're purple. What do the flowers look like? They're purple and they have like 4 little thin petals. It's not in this picture. I don't trim this tree at all. Ever. No, mine is now, I have one that's reaching for the light because I put it in a place where it had to reach for sunlight. I put it near a gardenia, and mine's probably about 12 feet tall, very thin. This gentleman, his is probably about 8 feet wide, and he trims it. Yes, it looks like the senna. She said, is it this lignum? Thank you. She said, is the Lignum Vitae about the size of the senna? Yes, it just took 3 times as long to get there. Purple flowers. So worth it. Native to the state of Florida, just beautiful, and you never trim it. But you could see that this gentleman has a walkway next to it, so that's what I'm talking about. All right, next one on the list, because I'm going to run out of your time, and then you're not going to get all the fun. And I have way too much in my head, so I'll make you crazy. Okay, the Jamaica caper. Yabba dabba doo. She is in here, but I don't see her, so I may skip her right now. Oh, yes, there's a picture of her. Let me show you the picture. The one below the Lignum Vitae is copperleaf, and the one below that is the Jamaica caper. It's a hedge. Very salt tolerant. Look on your sheet with the colorful picture. I wrote Jamaica caper is a hedge, and then the neighbor Schephilera tree is behind it. That lets you know how big Schephileras get. You don't want that tree. You want to cut that tree down at any cost. And the Jamaica caper you want to keep. The Jamaica caper blooms right around Passover, Easter, April. Little tiny hairs of purple that come on a pink and white flower. Really beautiful, somewhat fragrant. You can trim it to be a small tree. It's very slow growing, but the leaves are so pretty. They're glossy. They shine, the leaves. This lady lived right on the bay. What a view. I mean, she looked at all of Bayfront Park. It was what a view. But, you know, the house had too many commas in it, so I couldn't afford it. But at any rate, the Jamaica caper is very salt tolerant right on the bay. So if you have any fear of any saltwater intrusion or you just want a pretty native that has flowers that attracts butterflies, that's fragrant. How much more can you ask for? Jamaica caper. Okay, next one, Hemilia patens. This one you all should know because it's so common. This is the non-native, believe it or not. It's also called firebush. This one, zebra longwing, love this plant. Now, the Hemilia or firebush, the real native is got no orange. I think I said that incorrectly. The true Florida native firebush has more red in the tubular flower. But the tubular flower lets you know that hummingbirds will come to it, which is so cool. And it attracts the zebra longwing by the droves. I put this, are you ready? It's the most romantic place in your whole garden, right by my garbage cans. I've got 2 garbage cans that sit on the alley. I happen to love the garbage men that work in Miami Shores. They're like friends because I've known them for so long. And I put this thing, it is blooming its head off right over the garbage cans. So at least when they come pick up the trash, they see butterflies and Hemilia. And it's great. I hardly ever see it because it's on the alley. But it attracts butterflies all the time. This does grow much faster than the other plants I was showing you. I'd say you got to cut this about 3 times a year. Firebush. Okay. Next one. We did the stoppers. I think we did that, but I'll tell you. I don't have a Simpson stopper with me. They make a great small tree or a hedge. Edible fruit. I know, be careful what you eat. But Simpson stoppers have an orange fruit that's edible. The fragrance of the flower will knock your socks off. So fragrant. I have it as a hedge in clients because it looks a lot like orange jasmine. It's very often confused for orange jasmine, and when I couldn't get orange jasmine, I put in the native Simpson stopper. But it's also a small tree. And like I said, the fragrance, I like it better than gardenias because gardenias will knock you over. When I bring a gardenia in the house, my husband goes, so I don't bring gardenia. I mean, I love them enough to not make them nuts. The Simpson stopper I can bring in and he won't even notice it, but I know it smells good. So it's not such a noticeable fragrance, but so wonderful. All right. We did the orange jasmine, the gardenia. You know a gardenia already. Where'd she go? That's probably her. She looks bad in the winter. And she's got sooty mold. You can see sooty mold on my gardenia. Okay. And you can see scale. Aren't you lucky? Okay. Gardenias. One of my favorites. Very fragrant. Blooms when most of us close our windows. That's an oxymoron. Why would you want something in your garden that blooms when you're going to run your air conditioning? Unless you're eccentric like me and you go outside when it's 97. And I mean 97, when it's 97 degrees out, this thing is in full bloom. She now has scale. You'll see the little white guys on the backs, and it's not going to hurt you. They have no teeth. But you'll see the scale, and you'll see the sooty mold. So this is gardenia. Pablo, you and I are going to have to get me a wireless.
Also come to it as the other gardenia.
Sorry, say that again?
Do
the ants come to this? Yes, the ants will come to that after. I just didn't get you with ants. I'm sorry, I missed out. But yes, they come with scale, ants, and sooty mold, all 3. But here's the thing. You have to decide what you want to do. There are people that will make mixtures of cayenne pepper with some dishwashing fluid, not a lot because you're not washing the plant, with an old Windex bottle, and make a mixture of soap. You can even put a little bit of vinegar in there, something that's not toxic. I've had people put Tabasco sauce in water with cayenne pepper and soap. The soap is what's used as a surfactant. That's what's called glue. It makes it stick. If you want to use a non-poisonous spray to kill scale, it will work. However, it's not poisonous. If you spray a bug that's been able to survive in South Florida with a non-poisonous spray, the bug's going to come back because he's outsmarted the poison that you chose. That's soap, vinegar, cayenne pepper, Tabasco sauce, and water. I have to do a little bit more than that, guys. I love my clients, but I don't want to see them every month. So sometimes the spray has to repeat constantly to get it off. Once you kill it, once you get it repeatedly done, you should be able to tackle it. So if you want to stay that route, by Jove, go for it. Yes, sir. Of the scale? Right.
If you know the life cycle of the pest,
you could catch it when it's in its infancy. Exactly. Very smart of you. You want to come up here?
I'm the landscape coordinator for the city coordinator.
Oh my Lord! I planted him. He just got here. Okay, so he's saying if you learn the life cycle of the insect and you catch it in its infancy, either when it's giving birth to eggs or when they're just starting, when you just first see them, you could catch it non-poisonous. Why? What do you use?
I use the Dawn. I use Dawn liquid soap.
Dawn liquid soap. I'm impressed. How about that? Look at that. So when I don't catch it, and you know these are not my houses, I have used something called Dominion, which is a termaticide. It's a systemic. It's very poisonous, but at least I'm not spraying. I chose to use a systemic as a poison. Does anybody know why instead of spraying? I can. Very good, Jeannie. She answered the question. She's another plant. I put her there. Don't spray. You can control the poison. So if I have to put it directly on that plant, it will kill the bugs on just that plant. When you spray, anybody's able to get killed. It's not selective. Thank you.
Can you use that formula for any flowers? Almost.
Find out what pest it is first, but normally I've tried it on scales and stuff like that. And instead of using a poison at first, I try to use the Dawn soap, and it seems to work. You may have to do a couple of applications, but it will work. But you have to be very visual with your plants and pay attention to what's going on, because if it's not a big infestation, it'll work.
Right. If it's not a big infestation, if you catch it in the beginning. But you know, that's a lot like humans, because if you catch a cold and you don't work on it, it goes into something much worse. So I always tell people, if you can't remember when I'm telling you about plants, think about yourself. What you do for yourself. Do you feed yourself? Well, then you probably should feed your plants. If you get sick, do you take medicine? Well, you should probably do it right away on a plant. If you need a haircut, do you let your hair grow down to your ankles, or do you cut your hair? Well, you should probably cut the plant. Do you need sun, or do you stay inside a closed building with the shutters shut all the time? Probably not. Plants need light. They need water. We need water. It's a very similar system. Okay, next. Keep me on my guy. On where are we? Gardenia we did. Okay, this one's easy because of the leaf. Okay. This is Wilkinsonia or Alcalifa or Copperleaf. This is one of my favorites because it's a no-brainer. You can be totally absent, have a winter home in North Carolina, and no, the other way around, summer home in North Carolina, and have copperleaf in your garden because it will grow with virtually no care. It comes in red, it comes in pink, it comes in yellow and green, it comes in every color of the rainbow. A little aggressive, it can get very big, it can get leggy. Why can it get leggy? Because some of you who've known me a long time know I used to have hair down to my tush. When I did have hair down there, it got really thin. It's called split ends, and it would get very thin at the bottom. Same with plants. When they get too stretched out, they get leggy and all the bottom leaves fall off. So copperleaf probably needs to be cut at least 3 times a year, I'm going to say generally. I have it as hedges. This one's in my garden just for color, just for plain old color. Very pretty plant. It's a lot like a croton. If you grew up with crotons in South Florida, every house came with a croton in the 1950s. They didn't come with a copperleaf. Sorry? Yes, they have. This lady has eyes. I'm going home with her. That has a fuzzy flower. The fuzzy little flower is really sweet. It has like a hairball flower. Very cool. You're going to like that. Okay. And if you want to see copperleaf as a hedge, go back to your pictures, and you'll see the copperleaf as a mature hedge. Anybody still have that color sheet? It's below the Lignum Vitae. Okay. If you look at the thing to the right of the copperleaf, this is the copperleaf. To the right is what a lot of people have resorted to for color on the ground cover. We've had impatiens for many, many, many years, but they require so much water. How many lived here through droughts? Well, we were on watering schedules. You remember that? We were on watering schedules, and you had even house and odd house and what days you were allowed to water. They really haven't lifted that yet. Still here? Still here. But for a while, you aren't even supposed to water even twice a week. Remember, they took off all watering, no washing of cars, zip, because we had no rain. So what I had to resort to was a lot, and then the impatiens got powdery mildew, and the impatiens croaked. Sorry to say. So this is a combination of periwinkle, or vinca, and caladiums, and pentas. 3 of my favorite things to grow in the garden for low ground cover. None of them will live year round. Periwinkle could, but they get very long and they start to crawl away from you. They just kind of take off. But they're still so colorful. So periwinkle are very hardy. Pentas are one of the best butterfly attractants we have. Thank you, Kathy. Very butterfly attractant. The red will attract more than any other color pentas. And there is a pentas, I don't think there's one here, that gets to be about 3 feet. Only comes in red. It's the true butterfly attractant. One of the best. So for color, that's one of my favorites. Okay. How am I doing on time? Anybody? Yeah, I think I got a few more minutes because I don't want you guys to lose me. All right, Panama Rose. This one I also can find very easily. Oh, get that. It's probably Trump telling us that he's not getting impeached, I'm sure. He's calling us all. Okay, there you go, my dear. Okay, that's Panama Rose, Rondalettia. Panama Rose, we didn't get up early enough, usually has a fragrance after sundown and right around sunrise. And they attract so many butterflies, and mine's probably about 8 feet tall, maybe 7 feet tall, and mine's fully grown. They're not, well, I can't say that. I've seen people make it even taller, but mine's I love it so much. I have 3 of them in my garden. And you know we all don't have space. The number one thing I hear from clients once they fall in love with plants is I wish I had more space, more garden. This one needs sun. The Panama Rose needs sun. It attracts so many butterflies, you're not going to believe it. It blooms on and off all year long. And Panama Rose. I buy them about maybe 24 inches tall, and mine now is about 7 feet tall. Max. I don't think, well, I can't say that. I know people that have made it even taller than that. They've let it grow. But the Panama Rose is one of the best small trees, large shrubs. You can cut it way back. You're so smart. Okay, the one in front of my son's window, I don't want him to not be able to see out. He's 6'2". This isn't a challenge. I'm 5 foot. He's really, my husband's favorite line is, thank God my wife cheats on me, because I don't know where he came from. But anyway, he's up here. So for him, I can keep the Panama Rose at about 4 to 5 foot, and the house is obviously not ground level, because that would have been illegal even back in the 40s. So it's up about 3 steps, so he can always see over it. The other Panama Rose I have, Ben, you're not looking out. And the shrub is probably about 7 feet by 3 feet wide. Because when you don't cut something, you get more. Starts with an F. Flowers. Thank you. The less you cut something, the more flowers you get. So try and leave it in a space where it can go crazy. Because I know none of us have that much room. I got the message. Do the best you can. All right, Panama Rose, Jatropha we did, Orange Jasmine we did, the back, the vine, I think we did it all. Okay, let me see what I didn't do on here. Okay, these are called, oh Lordy, I'm gonna show it to you, but I don't want you to plant it. Do not plant it. Okay, I know I'm gonna get slammed by the nurseries that grow this. This is called Clara Dendron. I think it's called Fireworks. I don't know. It's got a million fakakta names. I love it. Who wouldn't love it? You have to be brain dead not to love it. It's purple leaves and white little flowers, and it Starburst. That's the other name. I knew I'd catch it in my brain. Okay, why don't I like it? Well, I love it when it blooms, and then it loses its leaves, and then you have, instead of 1, you have 3. So who cares? 2 more. Then next year I go back to the client's house, and they have 6. And then by the 3rd year, you have 12. And then you've lost the battle. You'll have dozens of Clara Dendron. They come up by the bahoogies. I like plants a lot. I'm an eccentric. My poor husband has to deal with me smelling and looking like a plant 24/7. I don't want something that takes over my garden. I only have so much room. So I have people that love these enough to plant them. And I say, yes, hire someone that is a groundskeeper that will keep them at bay. If you can pull out the babies on a constant basis, keep it. And I mean pull them out. Don't cut them out. What happens when you cut something? Anything. It grows back. Okay? You got to pull it out. Just like our gentleman that's so wise, the longer you leave it, the harder it's going to be to pull it out. So use it, love it, keep it tame. It's kind of like having a wild German Shepherd, you know, you just got to keep it tame. Okay, what else this one I do love. It doesn't have red flowers. That's called, it rained last night and I put the cuttings in a bucket for you. Do you know what this leaf is called? Anybody? Coleus. Coleus. Who? Oh, I can't say that, Martha.
But tell me in English.
No, tell me in Spanish.
Manto.
Manto. Okay, in English, Coleus, Coleus. It's not on your list. Coleus, Coleus, Coleus. Now, I'm going to pass it around, and I know I'm going to get kicked out soon, but I want to tell you a cute story. When I got to the University of Florida, and I actually studied horticulture, I'm that corny. My freshman year was Elizabeth Kavakovich was a regent and on the board, and she said that these were taxpayers' whorehouses. So she banned all men, not your father, not your brother, no men in the women's dorms. Well, I was 18. Come on. So I decided instead of having a boyfriend or my father, I don't have any brothers, I put Coleus in cuttings in vases. I was bored. So I put a bunch of cuttings in vases, and these things take off hydroponically. They send out roots up the yazoo, and they come in every color of the rainbow: purple, red, yellow, green, every color of the rainbow Coleus. If you can't grow Coleus, you probably should not grow anything, because this plant is pretty easy to grow. It's just cuttings and stick it in the water. Now, does it get ruined over time? Anything that grows that simple gets leggy and outstretched. It also gets a beautiful little purple flower, and then it kind of dies back when it flowers. You cut the flower off. It's just kind of like, I've been tired a long time. But come on, if you want color, this will take a lot of shade too. I have this at a veterinarian's office all over the place. Why? Because the vet's got a lot to do with the dogs and cats. He's not out taking care of the garden. You can grow Coleus if you know nothing. So. That's from my garden. Yeah, I keep it in the... Well, wait, Marta, in all fairness, she said it's only success in the summer. She's right because it likes warmth. Does anybody here... Well, you, and probably you, but not as long. When it used to be out there in the green grass... Okay, I was speaking when it was out in the green grass. I was like right before Tai Chi... No, right before the coloring book and after the Tai Chi. So I squeezed in there and did my plants. It was so cold when they were doing VHS tapes. I was in mittens, a wool hat, a parker, a ski jacket, and boots. So yes, you're 100% right. When we didn't have global warming, there's my political statement for the day, we had Coleus that would die back because it got to be cold. I was on a school bus going to Nautilus and it snowed. That's gone. So it was 80 this winter. That Coleus thinks it's still spring, fall. It doesn't think it's winter. Like I said, the flower doesn't come with it. Okay, last one. This is, next to last, and then I'll let you go. This is called a Clara Dendron. This is a weed. It comes up in your garden when you don't want it, but I think it's so pretty. It grows all over the place. I love it. I leave it. It's a Clara Dendron. It's the same as a bleeding heart family, same as the one I don't really like. This is a Clara Dendron. If you look at the flower, very similar. But, some of the older homes come with this. It comes around the alleyways and everything, so I leave it. I love it. All right, so we've done Lignum Vitae. Oh, the Jaquinia I showed you. I didn't show you, but I told you. This is a Jaquinia. The common name is Joe Wood. It does not look like much because I just cut it, but like the Lignum Vitae, it shows how much I love you guys. This was a present from a nurseryman to me. It only is native to the Keys, Joe Wood. It is the most beautiful small tree. I think mine's 8 feet, and it's 20 years old. Easily 20 years old. It was a gift to me because the birds fight over the fruit. They literally sit in there. I have orioles, I have cardinals, I have the blue jays. Everybody's in there going, no, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, it's mine. And they love the fruit. And you can hear all the different, if you're a bird nut, you hear the different sounds of each of the birds chirping, and they're arguing over the fruit. So come on, guys. Who doesn't want birds or butterflies in a slow-growing tree that you never cut if you put it in the right place? That was my finale. My sign fell over. I guess I'm done. So the Joe Wood, the Jaquinia, native to the Keys, native to Florida, obviously. Really pretty small fruiting tree. The flower you're not going to get excited about, but the fruit I don't eat them. I'm not a bird. Joe Wood, Joewood. Or Jaquinia, Joe Wood. Okay, I'd like to open it up to questions because this is too full in here. You should come up here and help me. You know more than me. Come on. What's your
My
name?
name is Stanley Oliver. I'm the landscape coordinator for the city of Coral Gables.
Here, take
And
this.
when I'm out in the fields, I'm gonna tell you, I can't remember all the name of the plants. I'm not as good as she is. But I do have an app on my phone, and if you're interested, it's called Picture This. It's a free app. You take a
Wow.
picture of the plant, and it'll tell you the name of the plant.
How about
I
that,
learned this.
Stanley?
I learned that from my instructors at the FIU. We recently had to take a horticulture class for like 11 weeks out the FIU on Saturdays, our department, and they recommended this app. So, and it really helps. It takes pictures. You can take pictures of different weeds, plants, whatever. It'll tell you the name of it. It's always important to know the name of the plant or the weed or whatever it may be, because whether you're trying to get rid of it or grow it, when you're applying like pesticides and all of that, you have to know what you're trying to kill. You know, you can waste a lot of time and money using chemicals on things that you can automatically assume, oh, I have chinch bugs in my turf. But if you're using the wrong chemical for that chinch bug, it's not going to work. So, long story short, just know what you're dealing with. Know the plant name or whatever it is. Picture this. It's a free app.
And how do you do it? You take a picture
Yeah,
of the plant?
I'll give a demonstration.
Okay.
You can help me with this. So picture this. You hit the camera button here, and
Do the Panama Rose.
yeah,
Wait.
let's see if it comes up. It's not always 100%, but it comes pretty close. And I'll take a picture of the plant, as you see. Let me see. There we go.
Want me to hold it?
Let's see what it says.
No, it says Pentas. You gave me a lead in, Stanley. A lot of people think this is Pentas, but Pentas will max out at about 3 feet. The Rondalettia or the Panama Rose will max out at about 8 feet. So it's very close, but a lot of people, they confuse it because the flower is so similar. I didn't set you up, Stanley, I promise.
No.
Okay.
Like I said, it isn't 100% accurate, but in most cases it works for me. And that way I know if it's a problem in the turf and I'm trying to treat a specific weed, I know what to buy for that. You know, you have to use this isn't a workshop about chemicals or anything. Trust me, in the city of Coral Gables, we do not use a lot of chemicals. In fact, we don't even use Roundup anymore. So we do not. So let it be known to the residents. We don't use Roundup anymore. We use it's a herbicide called Wild. It's made out of peppermint oil and clove oil. It's a natural herbicide. And yes. But we don't use many chemicals. In fact, we don't even have a spray man. Even though I'm certified for pesticides, we don't actually have a spray man in the city anymore.
I don't use Roundup either. Roundup is not selective. It would kill whatever it would touch.
Yeah, it's a non-selective herbicide.
So
whatever
would
it touches, it kills.
And it's just not worth it. Sorry? Right, it kills the person using it. There was just a huge settlement on that they paid whatever, millions. Okay, Mark has a question. Oh, yes.
Plumbago, I have a beautiful hedge of it, but how do I get it to bloom more often?
Okay, Plumbago. Marta, what happened to it? There it is. Okay, this is what she's asking about. She asks how to keep it so that you get flowers on it, Plumbago. I love this plant. It needs full sun. This is not any shade. Here's the thing. I know you're not going to like me, but you know I love you. After about, I'm working for these people 28 years. In 28 years, I've replaced the Plumbago twice because it got so leggy and so woody that I couldn't keep it. The idea is to know when to cut it when it's going to flower. I don't remember. It's in flower right now, so I work it on the holidays. I work it about 3 months before Christmas because she wants it to flower for December. So I do it base 3 months before. But Plumbago is one of those things that has a lifespan where it's no longer attractive after about a decade. Okay, guys, I thank you for everything. And Stanley, you're a good guy.
Thank you. No, great. I'm always willing.
I'm impressed.
Always, I've been in the industry now. I've been with the city going on 25 years. I've been in the lawn maintenance, landscape industry for 34, since like the early 70s. I'm the son of a lawn man. So long story short, you can never learn too much. You can never know enough.
Right.
no matter how long you've been doing it. So, you know, when I saw the plants, I was instantly gravitated towards it. And I learned a lot from you this morning.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We need to connect, and maybe you can talk to my supervisors out to this. Yeah, you know Bob Barberman. He's an alumni of University of Florida. Yeah.
Really, I'd love to talk to him.
Yes,
seriously.
sure. I'd like to get your information.
I'd like to learn. You know what? You can never know everything. It's
Yes.
not possible. Thank you,
Yes.
guys. Appreciate you.
Guys, have a great day. Have a great weekend, and stay dry.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I'm Norma Gavarette from the Community Recreation Department. I have Chef Ricardo Trujillo from Cow Chocolate, sous chef Camila Trujillo. She'll be, and as well as with her dad, Ricardo will be doing a tres leches brownie.
How are you? It's always good to be here. Let me know if you can hear me well. Can you hear me? Okay, today's recipe is very simple. Very, very simple. Last year we make a mousse. This year I was checking out the weather and all that, and I realized we don't know for how long we're going to be here, so might as well we do something nice, tasty, but fast. And also, this is something that I like this recipe a lot because it's one of those lifesaver recipes, especially if you have people coming in and you're like, okay, what should I do that is out of the ordinary? Or like the real reason behind this recipe, to be honest with you, was obviously we make the brownie, we sell the brownie at the shop. Most of the time we sell out, but there's some times that, you know, if I have a brownie left, I bring it back home, and I always like to mix it with something, usually ice cream. But it came out that, you know, I have some condensed milk around and stuff like that. So we started like, oh, you know what? Let's play around. Let's play around. I don't like my brownie too dry. So I kind of went for the opposite side. And that's how this recipe, it was actually my wife's idea. It all began. It's very simple. It's a tres leches brownie. The brownie recipe, you have it there. For the bakers, you have a brownie recipe. When you... anything you bake, just combine the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. Dry ingredients, I mean any flour, anything, butter, etc., and then you incorporate eggs and all that. Okay, that's the recipe of the brownies there. I have a brownie here that this is like TV. It's just like pre-made brownie. Okay, well, I think it's way easier. I have the brownie. What I'm doing now is I pinching the brownie. You see what I'm doing? Like a little holes. Why am I doing this with a fork or something? We're gonna make the mix of the tres leches, but we want the brownie to soak all that, to absorb all that liquid, okay? This is gonna taste great, but trust me, if you let it rest 1-2 hours in the fridge, it's way better. Overnight, it's mind-blowing. So one of those family gatherings, well, Super Bowl is tomorrow. You can go back home and make this and you have it ready for tomorrow. Thanksgiving, if you say, well, pecan pie is kind of boring, or maybe you can add some caramelized pecans on top of this and that can make a whole different dessert. Follow me? The overnight effect, it's awesome. It's awesome. So that's why I always recommend that. What I'm trying to do here is trying to mark it, get the lines for you guys to make sure the brownie absorbs all the liquid. Okay, so now what? Now we're gonna make the tres leches mix. Recipes: brownie, tres leches sauce, and then we're gonna whip a cream to put on top of the tres leches. You have a recipe there for the whipping cream. Like always, I change whatever you have there, but I do it on purpose. Why? What you have there is the base. We're gonna whip a coffee whipped cream instead of just regular whipped cream, okay? You have the recipe for that, but you see how I'm doing the coffee one later on. Can be coffee, can be tea, can be anything you like to infuse in the heavy cream. I'll show you how to do that, okay? That way, possibilities are endless. You have the base recipe of a brownie tres leches, but you can do the brownie with whatever you like. That's what I want you guys to do, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is the tres leches sauce. We have a can of condensed milk, cream, and evaporated milk. Hold on, let me put it for you.
You have to close it after.
Yeah. This is one of those. You know how to do it?
Yeah.
I'm glad she knows how to do it because I'm terrible at it. Okay, so keep in mind that any spice is always welcome. When I say spices, I'm talking about cinnamon, maybe some nutmeg or something that you like. Need help? Got it? Yeah, you there, got it. Okay, we have number one. Let's go with this. No, hold on. You know what? This is a big issue for left-handed. I don't know if you noticed, but we both are left-handed. So between being left-handed and there you go. Yes. Okay. Okay, so pour that in, please. Evaporated milk. So if you're gonna make like a no, not yet.
There's nothing in there.
There's a little bit in there.
So you gotta use the whole thing.
Every drop counts. And then, my favorite. This is one of the greatest inventions on earth. Condensed milk is, you know, I make chocolate for a living, and I don't eat too much sweet, except condensed milk. Well, I think condensed milk pretty much covers everything that we can call sweet, right? I absolutely love this. I keep it in the fridge, so it gets like a little bit harder. It's delicious, right? And then our milk. Milk, hold on, there you go. You have the recipe there. How many cups? Two? 280 grams, pretty much something like this. We whisk it. Again, here, any spice, anything. Cinnamon, nutmeg. If it's towards the season, you can add some pumpkin spice here too. Huh? You wanna try this? Get a spoon. So now what? Very simple. We cover.
Yummy.
Good? I hope she said yes. If she doesn't say yes, she's fired. Okay, we have the sauce, the tres leches sauce. It's very simple. So now what we do, you see this, this is a good bath for this guy. We can cover that a little bit more. Yeah. More?
Right there.
She's like, you're missing this spot. You're missing that spot. Of course, the more time we let this rest, the more juicy, the more soaky it's gonna be. The tastier it's gonna be, okay? Now what? Let me clean this up a little bit. Watch out. Wasn't that much, so don't worry. Let's go with the cream. What I did was I opened this heavy cream last night, and I add some coffee beans inside. There are two ways to make cream infusions, the cold and the hot way. Here, obviously it's a whipped cream, so we need it cold, okay? For any other dessert, just keep in mind, whatever you use in heavy cream, you can incorporate flavors in that cream. How? Doing the same thing I did. This is a cold infusion. Why is a cold infusion? Because stayed at least 12 hours overnight in the fridge.
How many?
As much as you want. That's up to you. With tea, we make chocolate with chai tea. I just add a bunch of chai tea there and then let the cream rest. If I start, let's say in the morning, I shake it during the day a little bit while I'm working, just to make sure that all the flavors combine. And then next day I strain it and I use the cream. Coffee, same thing. Ginger, same thing. Hibiscus, any type of tea, same thing. Cinnamon, you wanna make a whipped cream that tastes like cinnamon, just get the cinnamon sticks there, let it rest. You can do that. If for a whipped cream that you need it cold, you do it like this. If you're gonna do the cream for like a ganache of a cake or something that you're gonna have to heat the cream, you have this option, but you also have the other option, which is add the coffee beans, bring the cream to simmer, let it rest for at least an hour, and then you heat the cream again, you strain it, and you do your recipe, whatever you're gonna do, okay? That's the hot infusion. That's the difference. One, you do it cold, overnight, and the other one, you do it on the spot. Let's say, hey, I want you to make something with coffee right now. It's like, okay, boom, I do it. Obviously, the flavor will not be as strong as if you let it overnight, okay? But also depend on the ingredient. I mean, coffee can work pretty well. Let me just make sure that I empty this out. So now, another tip. Make sure that if you have to measure, after you add the coffee beans to that, you don't have 2 cups anymore, or you don't have 3 cups anymore, okay? You have to measure the cream again after you strain whatever new ingredient you're adding. You follow me? Why? Because this will absorb. The tea will absorb part of the cream, so you're gonna be short on the liquid content. And you don't want that, because if you really need it, you see, they absorb a little bit of the heavy cream. So if I'm really counting my liquid content, it won't be the same. Can you give me a paper towel, please? It won't be the same. So I say, hey, why I'm showing the recipe, or why this didn't work, now you know. I'm gonna add a little bit more cream. All right. Let's make a little bit fun. I'm gonna add a little bit of cocoa powder too, just to have like a not so sweet chocolate taste. Then I'll incorporate some more. Now what I do is I whisk it. This is a good exercise. If you have a KitchenAid, you can do it. Definitely if you have one of these manual blenders, hand blenders, you can do it as well. For literally like 2 cups of cream, it's not that much. May take me like 2-3 minutes to whisk this. If I'm tired, any of you can help. You know, I switch arms just to make sure that both arms are strong enough. I had to take my time while the tres leches is soaking. And then it's just a matter of serving it. We can decorate this with any type of fruit, anything you want, okay? Because this is coffee, I let it, you know, just coffee-ish. You know what can be cool with this as well? you know those graham crackers, the crumbles? You can serve this and add a little bit of graham crackers on the top. Like add something crunchy. That'd be nice. I like that idea a lot. Cream is not there yet, but clearly it's not as liquid as before. Okay, we want a soft medium thick. What I'm talking about, soft medium thick, I don't know if you can see. Wow, let me go around. You see I'm working the cream. It's getting thicker, right?
Yep.
You see? It's getting thicker.
Yep.
We don't want that cream too thick. We don't want to over whisk. We're gonna end up making butter. Seriously, you add salt to that, you're gonna end up making butter. So we don't want that. Right now it's almost done. It's actually, I really like this soft medium thick. You see? That's what you're looking for. If said, yeah, I like it like that, but I would like a little bit of more like chocolate flavor, we can add more cocoa powder now. This is the time. Okay? All right? Just make sure that we emulsify it well. That's about it. It looks like mousse, yes. I know many of you were here last year for my mousse recipe. The cream is sweet, but it's not too sweet, which give a good contrast.
I like the coffee taste.
Tastes like coffee. The coffee taste will reduce a little bit of the sweetness of this. Okay? Now what? Today we have two options. We can go for the indulgence, fatty kind of person one to just dunk all the cream in top of this, or we can serve one by one and put a little bit of cream on top. It's really up to you. Huh? Don't put cream? You want to try it without the cream? Listen, I was sweating here whisking the cream and you now telling me that you don't want the cream?
No, dump the cream.
Oh, dump the cream. Okay. Yeah. Now, again, while I do this on a regular home shop condition, this is already in the fridge. Okay? Because this is already in the fridge, the brown is a little bit cooler now. And I dump the cream and the cream goes back to the fridge. Okay? Conditions are different. Just let me double check. This is good. This is good. Again, this you can do it with a brownie. What happens if you have like a chocolate pound cake? There's no really difference. What happens if you have like a nice chocolate sponge cake? You can do this too. Okay? So basically keep in mind that it's not the brownie recipe. What I want you is to understand how you put everything together. Okay? Of course, if you have any questions, this is the time. Thank you. If you have people coming over, you can add some maraschino cherries to this, strawberries, whatever you want. You put it, I mean, just make it look nice. And then you hide somewhere and you lick the spoon. Don't let anybody see you. All right. Can be more, a little bit more cocoa powder. It can be chocolate shavings. Can be anything you want. Okay, for the decoration, you name it. Fresh strawberries, berries, any type of fruit, anything that you like, graham crackers or any type of cookie. Powdered sugar can be too sweet, but it's good too. Okay, so this is the brownie test. It's very simple. Now let me serve it because this is the important part.
Tommy's having a good bowl session over here. Wish we could all do that, Kami. Oh, no.
No.
That's good.
Well, the good thing is that they say kids don't lie, right? So at least you say, well, it's not that bad. All right, yum. Do you want to try the first one?
Sure.
Now here, just make sure it's kind of like a. This one it will be kind of like a messy dessert, in the sense that, remember, all the liquids will be absorbed for the brownie in the fridge, and will thicken a little bit. Okay, here we have a lot of liquid. Nothing wrong with that, because after you eat that, you drink that. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. You eat it fast so we can get the spoons on.
Here, give me the spoons. You continue. You continue. That is a very good.
She's stealing the show.
That is very good. So like that, our guests can see. Okay.
Super good.
Mm-hmm. Super good.
Thank you, Cami. See, as you can see, my assistant is really good at eating the ingredients.
Your sous chef is your taste. Yes.
Yeah, she can really give the verdict of how good it was or not. You look at her, and if she looks happy, now you know. Again, any other idea to incorporate flavors to this? What I did with the coffee is I tried to, for the ones of you that don't like it too sweet, we'll reduce the sweetness a little bit of the brownie, the cream, and all that, and we'll get a different flavor. Okay? Questions? No, they're waiting for the brownie.
We're waiting for the brownie.
Yeah, it's like. Question: how does it taste like? Pass me one. That's the question. Hey, it's a simple tres leches recipe, but trust me, everybody's gonna talk about that. So if you want to show up, si quieres pasa eso, yo estoy haciendo más. Huh?
I want this for my birthday.
You want this for your birthday? Okay. Next month. You always. We can. Well, actually, probably that weekend we'll have a farmers market, so we can all celebrate here. We'll bring a brownie tres leches for everybody. How about that? Cami, spoons?
Right there. There's a lot left.
Yeah, mami, yeah. You know what I like? I like after I serve all this, the last part, all that liquid with the brownie crumbs, it's what I like. So everything that remains in the tray, I'm happy with it. and happy with it. More cups?
I didn't use the whole round.
Who's missing?
Let's keep serving.
Voy a probar.
Nobody's missing?
No.
Okay. Nobody's missing? Okay,
Espresso.
let's see. Good? You taste the coffee? Hmm? Yeah. The coffee kind of reduces a little bit the sweetness. So it's obviously it's sweet. It's a brownie tres leches. What can you expect? But but with the coffee, I try to reduce that. And the heavy cream, the whipped cream that we add on top, it's a key part of the recipe. Why? Because it will mellow the recipe. Okay? And
For Gus or
you can always serve it and then add more liquid to it. That liquid, that sauce, will be always welcome. Trust me.
Can you use like espresso
Gus or
Espresso powder?
you guys don't want?
Yeah.
or brewed to infuse the cream?
Nah.
Or that's too...
If you have powder, it's good. Do not bring another liquid when you're whipping cream. Okay? I don't recommend that. Or if you want to do it, just add a little bit at a time. So you make sure that you don't mess up with the cream. Because once the cream, it has another component that is too liquid, it won't whip. And you will have to get more cream. That's for sure. I would say the powder. I like the beans. And but quite honestly, I'm gonna keep on serving here.
Yeah, está bien, está bien.
¿Tienes la
Sí, tengo la bandeja.
Okay. This with you want to bring it here so I can serve some more and thank you. Again, very simple but tasty. Huh? As many as you like. We're still halfway. So second, third,
Where's the chocolate shop?
it's on Dayland 98th Street and 77th Avenue. Cami,
Oh,
come
have my.
Yeah.
get the
Or do I
spoons
have
over there.
yours?
Who asked for seconds? They're coming.
No, I think everybody's waiting for seconds.
Thirst.
Nobody has not moved.
Yeah, I don't see they're looking at me. I don't think they're looking at me just serving this just because, right?
Can't wait. It's like, why isn't he giving?
You know. Generous. I can see you're not shy at all.
No.
And the sweet, yes, and the sweet just bump up a little bit that you know, that happiness that you go. You try it? Okay. She's waiting for the seconds. Okay, let's. You can pre-cut the brownie, but it's okay. Then it will be like way too square, and this is I like it like that. If you want to do this in individual portions, you can do it as well. Okay? So let's say you want to make it fancy. Make it fancy, do the brownie, you cut it, and then in individual containers, you do the soaking of the tres leches and the whipped cream on top. You don't have to add the whipped cream like I spread it. You get a piping bag, and you can do like funny and beautiful things with the whipped cream as well. Okay? You know now how to do it, the technique, it's on your own. Valentine's is in a week, so
Start
you can get creative.
prepping.
You can get creative if you like. Thank you, guys. Thank you again for having me.